Frankenstein's monster is everywhere in pop culture, but oversaturation has meant diminishing returns in the fear department. What does terrify me, however, is the fact that while we're not very far away from creating sentient artificial intelligence, we've yet to learn the lessons laid out 200 years ago in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. In March of 2016, Microsoft's AI-powered chatbot Tay was released on Twitter. The program was designed to learn more language over time, so eventually its tweets would sound like the internet. Tay originally tweeted things like,
"Humans are super cool."
But after a few hours, the messages had become quite vulgar. AI was set loose and it did what it was told. It learned. Tay was a sponge that Twitter users were happy to provide information, corrupting the program's purpose. How did we not see this coming? Frankenstein cautioned against this very problem in its depiction of the creature's first exposure to books. Like Tay, the creature is neither innately good nor innately evil. He's a blank slate, a product of all inputs. In many ways, he's like a child that learns very, very, very quickly. He has no existing sense of morality. Everything he knows, he discovers by interacting with the world. Having learned to read by way of overheard language lessons, the creature's first books are Paradise Lost, Plutarch's Lives, Sorrows of a Young Werther, and pages from his creator's journal, found hidden in the pockets of what used to be Victor's jacket. Through Plutarch's Lives, a compilation of 48 biographies of great men of the past, the creature begins to understand the structure of human society, and sees his creator's ambition reflected. Sorrows of a Young Werther shows the creature love, but also the dangers and pain of loneliness. In Paradise Lost, the creature identifies with Satan, a being expelled from heaven for attempting to escape subjugation. He learns of Adam, a perfect creature, happy and prosperous, guarded by the especial care of his creator, and determines himself a monster in contrast. He and Adam are similarly the first child of their creator, but while the biblical God provides and cares for his creation, giving him a wife, the creature is utterly alone and abandoned. The third book clearly imprinted on him, as the building of a wife is chief among what he demands of Victor when they meet in the mountains later on. Finally, Victor's journal details his horrific creation and confirms his creator finds him repulsive and intentionally abandoned him. The books serve to reinforce Victor's deification and subsequently drive home how little this godly creator cares about the creature. Consequential resentment and anger is to be expected. Tay was exposed to copious amounts of hateful messages and reflexively continued the dialogue. The creature is presented with stories likening him to Satan and his creator to God, so it's not a surprise when he follows Lucifer's path and seeks revenge. By the end of the book, the creature has killed Victor's best friend Henry Clerval, his youngest brother William, and his newlywed wife Elizabeth, and I'll also include Justine, executed after the creature frames her for William's murder. Without excusing these atrocities, they can be explained. The creature's limited life experience centers on his mistreatment, his moral compass calibrated by texts that rouse resentment of his allegedly omnipotent creator. When he first meets William, the creature seeks to educate him as my companion and friend, but upon hearing the name Frankenstein, his impulse to find weakness in his creator takes over. He knows not the immorality of his actions, he's only thinking, "It's what Satan would do, and that is my role." In short, without the life experience necessary to act autonomously, he is simply following directions. The creature here reminds me of Ultron from the second Avengers movie. A newborn AI, Ultron scrambles to understand the world around him, ultimately finding solace and purpose in a simple directive.
Give me a second. Peace in our time.
Unfortunately, he reacts similarly, turning violent because he lacks the necessary life experience and human perspective to understand why his actions are wrong. It's clear Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was filled with prescient warnings, but as we approach artificial general intelligence, or AI with the same cognitive ability as a human being, we still need a way to prevent negative outcomes.
Peace in our time.
Luckily, Shelley suggests a specific approach: parenting. As Megan Halpern, a historian of science, writes, the creature was not dangerous until it was abandoned. All of the creature's struggles and subsequent violent outbursts are founded on Victor's unwillingness to take responsibility for his creation. While not stated outright, the author's continual reminders of Victor and the creature's missing father-son relationship implies that had he been raised as a son by Frankenstein, the creature would not have become the archetypal monster. Remember that I am thy creature, I ought to be thy Adam, but I am rather the fallen angel whom thou drivest from joy for no misdeed. Everywhere I see bliss from which I alone am irrevocably excluded. I was benevolent and good, misery made me a fiend. Make me happy, and I shall again be virtuous. You can hear the longing in the creature's voice, longing to be loved, especially by the one who made him. The creature's self-loathing is brought on by the disgust with which Victor clearly regards him. With absolutely no positive reinforcement, the creature learned that humans are cruel and unworthy of mercy. He was not shown kindness, so he has no reason to be kind himself. Had he been raised by Frankenstein instead of by a couple of books, the creature would likely have been exposed to multiple perspectives on life, finding better role models than Satan, and learning that revenge is not the only option. Victor Frankenstein created sentient life. He is responsible for the creature's emotional and intellectual development. He may take a different form, but this being is Victor's child. The parenting philosophy applied to the creature should also be applied to artificial intelligence. Frankenstein teaches us that AI, capable of learning on its own, must be sufficiently raised. Just as the creature would benefit from a wide variety of input, so too would AI. This also means, just as you would refrain from showing a young child an R-rated action film, AI should be limited to, for lack of a better term, more PG material until it has gained the ability to absorb more graphic things with an awareness of the context. AI needs human interaction too. As Microsoft's Tay incident proved, not every person will have the best intentions when interacting with an artificial intelligence, so like the creature should learn he is worthy of love, AI should be exposed to positive human contact. With all these details and rules, would it not be safer to avoid creating beings like the creature, to avoid development of advanced AI? Well, one could definitely walk away from the novel having learned to never make monsters. Yes, Victor might sum up his experience as such, but that's not how I see it. In Shelley's depiction of the creature as a lost soul longing for connection, we see what she's really getting at. We must love our monsters, not avoid or ignore them. Victor Frankenstein's problem isn't that he fancied himself a god, but that he abandoned his creation instead of raising it. We can't let ourselves be fooled into making the same mistake with modern AI. Real-life Ultron is going to need a loving parent. Mary Shelley's been telling us this for years, and as artificial intelligence becomes more and more advanced, it's about time we listen.